Hey, everybody, it's Board Game Blender time. I'm Zee Garcia. Thank you for tuning in, and happy holidays to y'all. We're very glad you're here with us. Our episode today is titled, Baby, It's Cold Outside, and I just figured I would pick something slightly different. We did a holidays episode last year as well, so just trying to mix it up a little bit. This time of year, even though I live in a tropical climate, always puts me in the mood a little bit to play games with snowy settings. And so that's what we're going with today, either holiday games or snowy settings or something else. Some folks just sort of did something different, which is fine. We love them all. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we get to that, we had a contest last episode run by us and Renegade Game Studios that helped us out with prize support for that. And so today, I have a winner to announce for you. Our winner is, we had, by the way, over 600 entries, so thanks everybody for participating in that contest. Thanks for watching the show. Here we go. Drum roll, please. Our winner is Jeff Tausma. You are the winner of the 2 games from Renegade Game Studios. They're going to go out to you right away. Happy holidays to you and congratulations. And again, thanks everybody who participated, who wrote in. I do have a list of some of the more popular games like I mentioned as to what you folks are looking forward to next year. And it kind of looks like this. Near and Far was very popular. Lisboa, which is the new Vital Lacerda game, very popular. Rising Sun, Gloomhaven, First Martians got a bunch of mentions. And then the not surprise and the big surprise, the not very surprising, was Pandemic Season 2. Lots of folks looking forward to that. I myself am very much looking forward to that. And then the one that surprised me, I need to look into this a little more, I think, was Tiny Epic Quest. Tiny Epic Quest got a lot of mentions as well. So that seems to be what you all are looking forward to. Very cool. Thanks for writing in. Let's kick the show off right away, folks. Enjoy it.
Hello folks, Mark here, and welcome to Thinking Inside the Box. In this series, I'm focusing on inserts, storage solutions, and games that already do both really well. One of my favorite cold weather games is Dead of Winter. It's a meta-cooperative, psychological zombie survival game. Sam?
Mark!
Oh, okay. Anyway, this means the players are working together towards one common victory condition.
Stop.
But for each player...
We're not talking about the game. We're talking about the inserts for the game only. You don't have to explain the rules of the game. Come on, man. What are you doing?
Okay, I hear you, Sam. Okay. So, tell us what you like best about this Dead of Winter insert from Daedalus Productions, then.
Well, Mark, thanks for asking. I mean, this is actually pretty thematic insert as far as I'm concerned. I really like, it sounds weird, but I really like all the blood splatters and how it looks dirty and grungy and looks like it's a post-apocalyptic insert. I really do like that. Now, with that being said, I think that this token tray is the highlight of the insert for me because I just like how everything is very neat, very organized in this tray, and I also like how things can just kind of slide up out of it. You don't have to kind of dig your finger into it or anything like that. So I think that this was very well designed. I think that this side of it could have been designed maybe a little bit better so that the edges aren't, they would meet flush or something to that effect. But as it is, it's not bad. So I think they did a good job. I was thinking maybe they could have done a little bit better of a job, but I like it a lot. I like the etchings on the back of each bay so that you don't forget which token goes where, and you can put everything back in its spot. So this is really the tray that shines for me, which is unfortunate because I think maybe the card tray is what was supposed to shine. So Mark, why don't you tell us about what you think about the card tray?
So, I agree with you on the thematic look and feel of this insert. And I do believe the card tray was meant to be the showcase piece as well. but I possibly built mine incorrectly? Well, by choice. Oh, now, just hang with me for a minute. Each card slot is labeled to show which cards go in each area, and I wish the laser etching was easier to read. Okay, so what did I do wrong? Well, I really liked the splatter pattern in this configuration, which meant my labeled slots are in the inside of the tray, which of course makes them even harder to read, but I prefer the look of this tray in this configuration. Also, there's a ton of play in these card slots, possibly too much room. The cards flop around a bit. Not that they fall out or anything, they just have a lot of movement. Not sure I'm crazy about that. I do really like having the tray out next to the board for easy access to the cards, and it looks amazing next to the board. I like how the cards are stored at an angle as well, and all the detail work that went into the tray showing off to the sides and the back. It just looks really cool. But I just have to wonder if it's too wide, really. Okay, before we give our final thoughts, check out our high-speed assembly practically in real time. I thought the assembly was very straightforward, and all the instructions are on the website for easy download, so you should check them out. Okay, Sam, so hit me with your final thoughts.
Really, Mark, I think overall my feeling about this is that it is an okay game insert. As I said before, I really like the look of it, how it's got the splotches and the grit and the grime all over it and that type of thing. I like how it looks like it's supposed to be for a post-apocalyptic game. But at the same time, I think the implementation of the space that was inside the box was a little bit off. I agree with you that the cards here are just the tray is too wide for the cards. That's what I was meaning to say. And so I think this could have been done a lot better. They're going to move around a lot inside the box, and I don't really like that. So overall, I think my final thoughts are simply going to be that it's an okay insert, but I don't think it's the best one that you'll be able to find. I think you might be able even to find some good foam core inserts that might utilize the space better inside the box. However, the thematic look of this is what really makes it cool for me. So it's going to be kind of a neither here nor there. Sorry.
No need to be sorry. All great points. And I have to agree, it's an okay insert, but it does look amazing on the table. It's functional, but what pushes it over the edge for me is simply the look and feel, which is stunning. So while there are possibly more functional solutions out there, I think the blood splatters and how, as you said, Sam, the dirty, grungy look really in the end has me sold. Well, that's all the time we have. Thanks for joining me today, Sam. Always a pleasure, sir. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Happy organizing, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Hello, everyone. With Christmas fast approaching, you want a game that's going to unite the whole family and has everyone involved into the fun. But what's even better is if it has cute polar bears in it. In Pig a Pig, you have different kinds of polar bears. Polar bears that are wearing fancy goggles and polar bears that are eating delicious, yummy tuna. But Pig a Polar Bear is here today because he sees something happening sometimes when people are playing his games. And he wants to tell us a little bit more about that. In Pig a Polar Bear, you're trying to collect as many polar bears as possible. Everyone starts with a starting card. You are trying to find a card that is going to be exactly the same or has one difference as your starting card. When you find that card, you're going to put it on top of the card that you already have, and you're going to continue with that card. When you don't have any cards left that have one difference or are exactly the same, you're going to scream stop, and everyone has to stop doing what they're doing. Everyone is going to check each other's cards, and if you made a mistake, you are going to lose all the cards that you collected that round. When all the cards are checked, you're going to refill the grid, and you're going to play rounds until all the cards are gone. After that, you're going to check who has the most cards, and the person with the most cards wins the game. Big Polar Bear, what happens sometimes when people are playing your game? In my game, it is important that you see the solution very fast. But sometimes people take my game a little bit too seriously, which is not a problem when you're playing with people of the same skill level. But sometimes, like with Christmas, you're playing with the whole family. And then you have to be cautious that you also give the little children some chance to get some cards. And it just sometimes breaks my heart when those children don't even get a chance to collect some of my Yummy Bear cards. I think I have a solution for your problem, Big Polar Bear. Because I know that you have some friends and maybe they would like to help you a little bit. What do you mean, Anna? I'm talking about Pig Seal and Pig. My idea is that you're going to bring them along with Christmas and that you're going to make 3 different tables where you are going to sort it by skill level. Some people just want to play as fast as possible, and then it's just not, like you told us, not fun for the little children that cannot play along with that. So some people are going to have fun with Pig Seal and are going to play fast. And the little children that want to collect as many polar bears as possible can do that with Pig a Polar Bear. That way everyone can have as much fun as they like. I like your idea, Anna. This way people can also play with my friends Pig and Pig Seal. And they can just play as competitively as they want. But it's Christmas, so it would also be fun if everybody could play together. Another thing you could, of course, do is ask the person that is playing a little bit too competitively kindly if they could tone it down a little bit, and so that everyone can play together. Thank you, Anna, for thinking along with me. I'm glad you like the solution, Pig Polar Bear. Have a great Christmas, and bye! You have a great Christmas too, Anna. Bye!
For today's Gamelympics, we are taking a look at the bronze, silver, and gold winners, in my very biased opinion, of course, of games that would be great new holiday traditions. You know, something you can sit around with family and play during the holidays. I just think it's fantastic. I love traditions. I think it's great starting new traditions, having something that marks in a very pleasant way the passage of time, that isn't just monthly bills, you know. And so games can be a great way to do that, traditions, you know. And so I think these 3 are going to be fantastic for that. They are things you can keep coming back to and have fun with the family. So our bronze medal goes to Wink. Very easy. Everybody can jump in on this. As your family grows, as your family expands, everybody's going to be able to understand what's going on. They're going to be able to play. And the game is a great icebreaker for maybe family members you haven't seen in a while, or those you are meeting for the first time, as everyone is going to be bluffing a little bit and then trying to be sneaky with winking at one another without getting caught by the other family members. Lots of laughs, lots going on in this one. I think it's going to go over well. Our silver medal goes to Igloo Pop. Igloo Pop here is one that's really more for the kids, to include the kids. And it has these great little igloos that as you shake, they make a lot of noise. The kids are trying to figure out how many little pebbles are inside each of the little igloos. And it's just a ruckus, fantastic time, you know. This is one that I think the kids, especially if you keep it at grandma's house or something like that, are going to be looking forward to from year to year. And as they grow into it, I think they'll still look upon it fondly. I like it myself. I think it's a cute game. It's not a memory game. It's not a completely silly game, but it is very tactile, very attractive. It's a gorgeous game. look into this one as well. And finally, our gold medal goes to a brand new game, Insider here. A tiny little party game that feels like 20 questions meets a whodunit. You're going to have one player that knows a word, and all the other players are trying to figure out that word by asking questions. However, one player already knows what that is. They're called the Insider, and the other players are trying to suss out who that person was from the beginning. They knew all along. It's a very fun game, really easy to play. The group can be as big or as small kind of as you need it to be. And the other great thing is, from year to year, you could build up new words to put in the game. It comes with a stack of cards with words on them, but the holiday tradition could entail creating new cards with new words specific to you, to your family, to your style of gathering. I think that's going to be really fun, so I recommend you check this one out as well, Insider, and start some new family traditions. And that's it for this version of Gamelympics. Have some fun out there. See you soon.
Howdy folks, Rebecca and Hunter here with the Player Showdown. When I saw the theme to this episode of Blender, I looked at our board game collection and it is completely devoid of winter themed games. But we found a solution. We're going to travel all the way to Mars to bring you the game.
So today we're bringing you Terraforming Mars. This awesome game plays 1 to 5 players and lasts about 90 to 120 minutes.
It's a card game, engine building, resource management. Let's take a closer look. The goal in Terraforming Mars is to have the highest terraforming rating at the end of the game. The end of the game is triggered when 3 things occur. When the temperature goes from 30 degrees negative Celsius all the way up to positive 8 degrees Celsius. And the oxygen goes from 0% all the way over to 14%. And all 9 of these ocean tiles have been placed on the board. You accomplish these goals through project cards. At the heart of the game, Terraforming Mars is a card game driven by project cards. You take your hand of project cards, you draft cards, or you purchase cards, and then you turn around and pay money to play those cards. In the effort to build the best engine to accomplish these goals and get the highest terraforming rating.
So there's many different things that you can do on your turn. You can play your cards. You can also pay money to do some of the standard projects, which kind of bypasses the cards and let you do some of the same actions without waiting for the cards. You can fund your milestones and awards for extra endgame scoring, and you can also convert different things to provide energy or heat up the planet or add a green space and different things like of that nature to the board.
So at its heart, Terraforming Mars is a card game that has a board that you play on. The cards drive the actions that go on the board. And what I especially like about the cards is they're very thematic. Only certain cards can be played during certain times, so there may be a restriction for a certain temperature. For example, fish don't show up until 2 degrees positive Celsius because the water would be frozen if it was below 2 degrees Celsius. And ants need oxygen, so they need 4% oxygen before you can play the ants card. And kelp farming needs at least 6 of these ocean tiles placed out before you can start farming kelp. So you have to use some strategy on what cards to keep, what cards to discard based on the levels of the game it's at. So you don't want to hold onto a card necessarily that you may have to hold the entire game that may only show up at a high temperature or a high oxygen level when you're at really low levels at that time. So it's cool that the cards themselves are thematic.
Yes, and another thing that's great about this game in general too is that there's not really any variance between 2-player and multiplayer. The only difference is when it comes to the end game scoring, there's no second place with 2 players, so you only have first place or nothing. Otherwise it plays the same, and I really love that. The theme is fantastic, and you've got the actual map of Mars and some of the names that are on the map, which I absolutely love that. And just the components, the way everything looks, even the little metallic colored dice, they feel weird because they're like light. I think they're plastic, but they have such a beautiful metallic sheen to them. They're really fun. It's just a beautiful, fun game that's really involved, and you really feel like you're doing some science too. It's great.
Yeah, I really love this game. This is one of our favorites of the year. We're not going to spoil our list for the next Blender, but this one will definitely be showing up in our top games of 2016.
So definitely check out Terraforming Mars.
Hey guys, it's Nerd E here today, and this episode of Board Game Blender is all about getting cold outside. It is freezing. It is getting colder by the day, and I'm bringing for you a game that is all about the coming cold dominant species. Okay, dominant species. Well, where am I? Dominant species is a game you can take control of a family of animals, so like you're the birds or the bugs or arachnids or reptiles, amphibians. So you're taking control of, I think it's a family. I don't know all my biology. And what you're trying to do is propagate your species and get them to control as many areas as possible. It's an area control game. And you have special player powers based on who you are. And all that's coming on the Ice Age is a-coming. You can't stop it. It's coming. And you're trying to prepare for that and be the most propagated species across the landmass when Ice Age actually happens. So the next question is, well, who am I? Well, I'm one of those families, be it the mammals, birds, etc., like I said, and I'm going to have a special power. The game is about action selection and worker placement for some people, and with that, it's an area control game. What I can do is each of the species groups has their own special power. The birds can migrate, so they can move farther. The mammals are smart, so they can survive better. The insects can basically make more insects. They can make a lot of insects. They can kind of make more species easier. You've got the arachnids that are able to attack and kill. The reptiles can adapt. The amphibians, they start out with really liking a lot of water. There's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different stuff. So you are one of those groups, the family groups, and you're trying to survive. So finally, how am I? Do I feel like I'm that group of animal? I think I do. I think I do because that tiny little piece, that one extra thing that makes your species group different, the birds being able to migrate, the mammals being smart and surviving, all that stuff. It's a tiny little thing in the grand game. It's a big game. It's a heavy game. But that one little piece that makes me different from my opponents really makes my entire game a completely different game. And of course, in the time of the Ice Age happening, it was a different game for those animals. They had different goals. They had different things they could do. The birds really could get away from the glaciation and all of that easier. The mammals, I mean, they grew fur. They could go up into the trees. They could do the things that could keep them alive. The insects, well, they weren't really great at a lot of stuff, but they could just make a lot more insects so they could survive through propagation. So, I mean, yes, I think I feel exactly like overall that animal group would feel. Now, do I feel like a monkey or an eagle? No, of course not. But I feel like I am controlling that group and how that group would survive. That's Dominant Species. I hope that you guys have bundled up to keep warm during these cold months coming. But if you are bundled up next to a fire or somewhere in a cabin somewhere and you have 4 or 5 hours to kill, Dominant Species is a great game. You'll feel like those animals, and I think you should check it out. Thanks, guys.
Hello, friends of the Blend, and welcome back to Retro Board Game Corner. Today we're talking about winter-themed games. Well, here I have Polar Dare, published in 1991 by Milton Bradley. This is a 2 to 4 player game in which you are penguins trying to race across glaciers that shift before you get eaten by the polar bear. Let me set this up and show you how it works. So this is what the game board will look like set up. You are trying to get 3 of your penguins of whatever color you choose all the way over here to the North Pole. The polar bear is going to already start at the North Pole. Every turn you're going to roll this 6-sided dice. Now there's 2s, 3s, and 4s with the penguin picture on it. That means you get to move the penguin. And when you roll a 3 with a polar bear on it, that means you can only move the polar bear. Now the moves can be divided in any way. So for example, if you rolled a 4 on the dice, you could move your penguin 1, move the ice floe 1, that's 2, and then 3, and then 4. Now up to 3 penguins can be on the same ice floe. Now again, you're trying to make it over here with all 3 of your penguins. Now anytime that the polar bear touches one of the penguins, or more of the penguins, they all go back to the start. It's as simple as that. Well, there you have it, folks. What a great game to play while everybody's huddled around in a fire on a cold winter day. And heck, even your kids might even have fun. Hey, what are you doing here?
Hey, what about my favorite game? Cold Turkey.
Oh, Cold Turkey. I forgot about this one. Cold Turkey, published in 1995 by Milton Bradley. Hey, let's give this a try.
Yeah.
Cold Turkey is a game for 2 to 4 players in which the object of the game is to try to fill up your ice cube tray first. Now you'll start the turkey and he'll go around in circles pushing the ice cubes out. Once the ice cubes fall out of the ring, you go ahead and place it in your tray. First person that fills up the tray wins the game. Just as easy as that. May your rolls be high.
Yeah, do it.
K2 here is a fantastic game. It's one of my favorites. In the game, you are taking a team of 2 climbers up K2, of course, trying to get as high as possible, be careful with the weather, and come back down safely. The game is probably somewhat under the radar, but it's not the game I'm talking about today. The one I'm talking about is a follow-up to this game right over here called Mount Everest. Mount Everest is, as you can see, a bigger box, at least bigger than my printing of K2. And the game's a little bit heavier also. There's a little bit more going on in it. In the original game, in K2, you are just managing your 2 climbers. But in Mount Everest, you're taking a team of tourists up with you. Or at least you are making several trips, taking tourists and bringing them back. And so the game, the scale is a little bit bigger, right? There's a little bit more to manage. The original game has weather. This game has weather as well. They work in similar ways, but this whole tourist concept is very different. The other thing that's very different is that in Mount Everest, you have a backpack that you have to manage. It adds a whole different layer to the game where you have to be careful about what fits in there, what do you take up with you, what do you leave at camp. You can set up a tent, at some point up the mountain and store some things in it. And so the management aspect in the game is much more pronounced. I think this game would be a better fit for folks that enjoy min-maxing, for folks that enjoy being able to get down into the details of what's happening and just having more balls up in the air. You know, if you want more things to manage, then I think Mount Everest is perhaps more up your alley than the original K2. The game, for me, I do like K2 a little bit better. Still, again, I like that because it's a little more streamlined. There is less to consider. It is a little simpler to get into. But this one also packs a wallop. You can even use Mount Everest as an expansion to the original game. The board mainly, but you can use it. And so, if you enjoy this idea of combining a very strong theme with very clean Euro-style mechanisms with a constant tension, this sort of looming worry hanging over you about the weather, the inclement weather, about am I going to play the right cards at the right time? Am I going to be able to get down the mountain fast enough before that storm hits? And worrying about the tourists and who you're taking up with you, worrying about what goes into your backpack. And I think you're going to enjoy this one. It's a great balance between all those things, you know. And this series, K2 and Mount Everest, both really hit the nail on the head when it comes to balancing mechanisms and theme. They do it very well for me, and they're just right on the money. So I would say look into it. If you've never heard of Mount Everest, maybe you haven't even heard of K2, I would say check one out. Mount Everest is the lesser known one. It's the slightly more complex one. But hey, if you've never heard of K2, then you can look into that one also. They are both fun games, and I would very much recommend them. So that's been Mount Everest for Under the Radar. I will see you next time. Boop, 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 boop.
Hello, welcome to Boards and Crafts. And baby, is it cold outside. You know, since it's the season of freezing, we should create a craft inspired by a board game set in the coldest place I know, space. So today, we're going to create an ornament inspired by a roof of the galaxy. Thought I would change it up at the end of the segment and show you a couple of my failures, and by a couple I mean all of the failures before I got to the end result, the one that you guys saw for this segment. I had originally planned to do a green planet, but it kind of turned into more of a snowpocalypse with the glitter, and it didn't turn out how I wanted it to, so that's why I tried again and created this one, and I recorded it, but I didn't like how the glitter ended up too, so I ended up ditching the glitter bit of it. And this was the final result, and probably my favorite of all of the versions that I created of this ornament. So what I'm trying to get at is that if at first you don't succeed and that what you try to create is not the ideal of what you want, keep on trying until you finally find that final result that makes you happy and giddy inside. So that's all I have to say today. So I hope that you guys have happy holidays and a great new year. And I hope to see you in the next year. Bye!
Hey guys, welcome back to a very special Christmas edition of How To Fun. This week we're looking at an awesome game to bring out this holiday season with your friends and family. And before we get to it a little later, we're going to have a special guest come and help us explain our fun tip tonight. But the game is, first and foremost, Letters to Santa. Let's go ahead and see how it's played and then we'll get back.
Letters to Santa is a re-theme of the very popular Love Letter. The game is premised on both deduction and bluffing. The game is played over a series of short rounds in which players are going to try to be the last player remaining in the round or the one with the highest card when the deck runs out. Over the course of the game, players will accumulate gifts from Santa, and whoever has the most at the end is the winner.
So our very special guest should be here fairly soon. I don't know where he's at. He must be running a little late. Give me just a second. I'll go see if I can't find him for us, okay? Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! Did someone need some help explaining a game? I heard it's a wonderful game. One of my many favorites to play up at the North Pole. One that I believe all the good children should play before Christmas to get their spirits in the Christmas mood. Oh ho ho, that game is none other than Letters to Me, Santa Claus, of course. Oh, well, there you are. I was telling all of the children, they're not technically all children. Well, that's quite all right. It's quite an enjoyable game for both children and adults alike. Oh. The game is wonderful, and I'm here to tell you how to have more fun playing Letters to Santa. Here, what I find to be most fun is up at the North Pole, we like to have all the elves who participate bring little gifts. I think it's 3 per person. Bring these little gifts wrapped and ready to go, and they can be odds and ends of sort. Actually, we call those type of gifts white elephant gifts. Mm-hmm. I guess they're like white elephant gifts. I've never seen a white elephant. Perhaps they live near the polar bears. But yes, a white elephant gift. Everyone who plays would bring a couple of those. And what you do is after you win a game, rather than choosing one of the very boring little red cubes included in the game, you choose one of the many wonderful presents that have been laid out before you. Ho ho ho! It's a jolly good time. And, yes, it is quite enjoyable. And it will make an evening of a filler game filled full of Christmas magic. Ho 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 ho! Speaking of Christmas magic, I've brought you a couple of these white elephant gifts, and they're under your chair. Why don't you have them? That's very kind of you. Let's see what you brought. Oh, I think you'll quite enjoy this one. Oh. Aren't you glad I gave you a banana? Well, thanks. Open the next one. Is this a dirty diaper? Yes, it is. I really do think you'll like the third one. This one sounds good. Please open the last one. Oh, it's a good one. Phase 10. Oh, thanks. Oh, not just Phase 10. Santa. But Phase 10 with dice! Oh, what a wonderfully... a game. What a game. Well, I really should be off now. There's lots of Christmas things to do this Christmas season. But don't forget, play Letters to Santa this holiday season. Oh, it'll have all of the family in the Christmas we'll spirit. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Ho, ho, ho. Keep having fun gaming.
Hey folks, welcome back to another Real Talk segment with Sam, and it's almost Christmas. And I'm in South Florida, and it was like 75, 80 degrees outside this morning. It's really, really, really hard to get into the Christmas spirit when you're sweating outside. It just doesn't make sense to me. So, it's cold outside. It really isn't. But It's Cold Outside is our theme for the Blender episode, and trying to stay in tune with this whole idea of the concept of it being cold outside when it really isn't. I see all you people up north. You're complaining about all the snow and all of the difficulties, and I know, I get it. It's difficult being outside in the north because it's cold, it's icy, and it's dangerous, and all this other kind of stuff. But you know what? be thankful for what you have. I mean, I know it's not the best, but I would love to have just some cool weather. I'm not even going to think about snow because, quite frankly, it's just never going to happen here in Miami that I can think of anyway. But I don't know. Anyway, we're going to talk about a game that at least gives you the idea that you're doing something cool. And that is this game right here, Ice Cool. It's got a really cool wintry look to it, and it's a very cool theme as far as, you know, flicking penguins around a high school that's made out of ice so that they can go get a snack of fish. They're supposed to be in class, but they're cutting. That's not really a good thing to do, cut class and go get something to eat. But anyway, that's what kind of the theme is, and it's a fun game. I really enjoy playing it. I love flicking the little penguins around and making them, you know, jump over the walls. And penguins don't really jump, do they? Why did they make that available then? Why do they? I don't know. Anyway, so this is a great game. I enjoy it a lot. It's my number 11 for the year of 2016. So I really enjoyed the Weeble Wobble penguins are really neat, and they interact well with each other, and the flicking, and it's just a really great game. I have enjoyed it a lot, but I just wish it was actually cold outside, but it isn't. I live in South Florida, and I know it's supposed to be a paradise. But it's not in December. There should be at least cold weather. Maybe a little bit of snow.
And that's going to be a wrap for us, everybody, on this blend. A big thank you to all my contributors, as always. Happy holidays to everybody out there. I hope you have a fantastic end of the year, a great new year, and we're going to see you again real soon in a couple of weeks. So have some fun, enjoy yourselves, and as always, hey, stay a friend of the blend. I'll see you guys.